Hi stars. This is the controversial one. This is the big one. This one's gonna be a lot. It's gonna piss some people off, but it's okay because what are we about here at Melly Stars? Honesty and improving and so we gonna do it. We gonna do it, and we'll deal with the consequences later, I guess. Today's topic is addressing media about negative coverage. Why did I put negative in quotation? Because there's a difference between negative and constructive. If you had a shitty event and you get a shitty event recap, it is not the media's fault. They are there to do a job. They don't have beef with you. They're not gonna take it down. Yeah, it's not negative. You just had a shitty fucking event. Like, take your head out of your ass and read through or watch through and figure out what you can do better. Don't sit there and be like, well, you hate me and you need to take this down. No. Just don't be a dick. Point blank, period. That is like the number one fucking thing that I wrote down is don't be a dick. Second thing, just fucking do better next time. The media is the media, and guess what? It is just like us starting out as bloggers, as just underground. You can't handle negative attention. What are you gonna do when TMZ or NPR or whatever it is sitting there posting negative things about you? Are you gonna throw a hissy fit and call them and be like, you're being mean to me? Like, don't be mean to me. You need to take it down. You need to take it down or I'm gonna like release a bunch of stuff about you. The media's job is to report. It's not to consider your feelings. When I have a negative or review or recap that I have to do, I will try my best to word it in a constructive way because I don't like to be negative. The whole point of Melly Stars or Music in Belleville is to help artists, it's to help performers, it's to help hosts. It's not to hurt. So if it's a shitty event, sometimes I won't post anything. I'll just be like, it was shitty, and maybe I'll just do like a little video or some pictures, and I won't actually write about it because I don't want to be negative. Other times I have no choice but to post about the event, and in those cases I will just watch my wording. I can't sit there and lie and be like, it was a great event when it wasn't, but I'm not gonna sit there and completely censor myself because you come to Melly Stars for honesty. As with a lot of media sources, I know not all media is honest, we know this, but as much as you can be. Here's another big one that kind of bothers me is when an event host, I'm just gonna say it's a specific situation that I found myself in. An event host did not like the recap that I did because I had constructive criticism. I had disclaimers, I omitted their name, and they were still unhappy. I actually did censor myself because of the relationship that I had with the artist who brought me to the event. And instead of reaching out to me as the media source, the person reached out to the artist who brought me out and started making threats. He started making threats, and that's disgusting to me. You're not meant for the industry if that's what you're doing. You're just, no. Like, this is not the streets. If you want to fight and do all of that, do that shit on your own time. But ultimately, nobody controls what I post and what I do not post. Which kind of goes to my next point, which is reaching out to the wrong person. In this situation, the person reached out to the wrong person and expected that person to try to convince me to take it down with threats. Ultimately, I run my website. As any media source will tell you, they run their websites. They have to go through producers, directors, creative writers, bigger teams. So they're not gonna sit there and take things down because you're threatening someone. And by you threatening someone, you're now actually opening the door for exposure, and not the good kind. Because look, right now I'm talking about the situation and I'm not talking about you in a positive light. I'm talking about you as a shitty person, because who the fuck does that? So now you're exposing yourself, especially if you text it or whatnot. Guess what? Some media publications will take those text messages and post it and put you on blast. I'm not that type because I really don't care. Like, I do a recap and I'm on to the next. I'm not really checking for you, but that situation has definitely, I know you guys are like, oh, I'm not checking for you, but you're talking about it. Because I feel like it's important to discuss, because it's something I've never encountered. I didn't know that this was a thing. Like, I didn't know that people were that immature and petty and unprofessional. So I guess here we are, we're talking about it. At the end of the day, you can't control the narrative. All you can control is how you run your event. And if you ran it poorly, then you ran it poorly. And all you can do is learn from it and move on. Threatening people, blocking people, being petty, it's not going to get you anywhere. And then remember, on top of that, if you have a negative experience or you create a negative environment for one media person, guess what? That media person likely has other media connections, and you're fucked because everybody talks. And I could hit up my other media people and be like, yo, don't cover this guy's event. Like this and this and this and this is what happened. We don't fuck with them. Media people can also hit up other artists like, yo, don't work with this guy because he's goofy. Like he just be tripping, like he was tripping hard on this and that. This is what happened. So by you being negative and thinking that you can work around things, it's just not it. Instead of doing all of that, the best way to handle a negative review or recap is to reach out to the person. Oh, thank you for the constructive criticism. I apologize that you had that type of experience. That's not what it's about. We will be working out some kinks for the next show. I hope that you can make it out and that you have a better experience. This way, you're taking the constructive criticism, you're still maintaining that media connection, and you're opening the door for potential media coverage in the future instead of completely breaking a connection that at the end of the day, you don't know who's who and who's connected to who. So just always be careful handling negative recaps. I've had the same thing happen with negative reviews where I've been called crazy thing or they've asked me to take it down. I'm like, unfortunately I don't take things down. I can edit, but I'm not going to change my opinion. I can edit it in a way where it doesn't sound as bad, but it's still bad. So whether it's an event recap or music review, just be careful how you handle the negative comments and also make sure if it's negative or if it's constructive. That's all for this episode. We got a couple more in this little mini series, so stay tuned. Bye.